Studies have shown that 90% plus of women have cellulite. And, the older we get, the more visible the cellulite becomes. Let me give you a super quick anatomy lesson, and I promise not to get too technical. The reason cellulite is more visible on women than men relates specifically to how our connective fat tissues are arranged. So we all have strands of connective fat tissue that separate fat cells and the skin. In women, these fibers will form a network pattern that looks sort of like a honeycomb, so that any increase of fat in an area will appear as a bulge. Whereas in men, most of their fibers are arranged in a horizontal crisscross pattern that will prevent any kind of bulging or dimpling. Because of our female skin structure, as our adipose tissue increases, it grows into the upper levels of the skin, which causes two things to happen. First, there's a buildup of fluid or water in these areas. Human bodies are comprised of roughly 70% water, and in women, much of it tends to accumulate in this honeycomb-like dermis layer. And secondly, it causes a reduction of blood flow to this area. So, to keep things simple, these two factors are the leading causes of our all too familiar cottage cheese skin or orange peel skin. Most all other cellulite reduction methods treat the symptom and not the root cause. That was a huge aha moment for me. LIPOSUCTION just removes fat. It doesn't significantly alter the flow of blood and water to those areas. Special walking shoes also have no effect on the underlying problem of water retention and blood flow. And tanning beds, well, tanning beds obviously just change the outside color of our skin, which has no effect on anything other than aging us faster than we already are. And even exercising doesn't address the root problem. It just reduces the amount of fat between the honeycomb-like bands, giving us smaller cellulite dimples. Stop exercising, and you better believe it, it's going to come right back. So, is it really possible to overcome the female genetics that we've been handed? Absolutely, you can, and, it's actually much easier than I ever thought. The key is to treat the underlying problem, being lack of blood flow and retention of water in the specific areas I mentioned earlier. Once this has been addressed, we can perform a very specific series of easy body movements to actually alter the shape and smoothness of cellulite, no matter how bad it is. And these movements literally only take a couple of minutes. They also wouldn't work had we not addressed the root causes that I just mentioned. So, based on years of research, along with my personal experience and results, Dr. Charles has developed an all-encompassing system designed to dramatically reduce the appearance of cellulite. He calls this system the Cellulite Factor, and it's made up of several easy-to-understand components. Step 1. It's all about speeding up blood flow and decreasing water retention in the dermal tissues, which we've touched on slightly in this video. On page 108, you'll learn how you can actually make your own cellulite reducing kit. It's all natural, and I almost guarantee you already have it in your pantry. This step is about as close as you can get to altering your genetic composition, reducing the appearance of cellulite on your legs, thighs, and arms. Step 2 talks about the specific foods that not only slow down the accumulation of cellulite, but actually help speed up the process of reducing it. And I'll bet you'll be surprised to know that you're probably already eating many of these foods. Just not at the correct times, in the right order, and in the right combinations. Step 3, on page 111, talks about the real reason killing yourself in the gym won't eliminate cellulite, and how a certain 3-step process is what can lead to a permanent cellulite reduction. Step 4, on page 23, will teach you something that will likely shock you. It's the real reason that so many so-called cellulite removers eventually fail, and the reason the Cellulite Factor system won't fail. So once you get through step 4, you probably won't look at cellulite the same way again. I know I didn't. And just after a few weeks, you could see dramatic changes in how you look and how you feel about yourself. The information that Dr. Charles teaches me in the Cellulite Factor program isn't just a list of super complicated steps that need to be followed. It's not something that takes hours to do. I have 3 active kids, so if there's anyone with little time in the day, it's me. It's written down in a super straightforward, do this, then do that way that anyone can follow and understand. I am so sure that the Cellulite Factor will work for you. But if for any reason you decide the CF program isn't for you, just email Dr. Charles and he'll give you a full refund. And he'll even go a step further and let you keep everything for free, no questions asked.